You think you're overthinking because you're insecure? You're not. Insecurity is a personality explanation, and this isn't a personality problem. What's happening when you reread that message for the sixth time isn't a character flaw running loose. It's a neurological process executing exactly as designed inside a medium that was built to make it impossible to stop. Think about what you actually do. You read the message, something doesn't land right. A shorter reply than usual. No emoji where there normally is one. A period where there wasn't one before. And instead of moving on, you stay. You reread it, you screenshot it, you send it to someone else, you check the timestamp against when they were last online and do the math. None of this feels like a choice. It feels like something your brain is doing to you because it is. And the reason it won't stop has nothing to do with how much you care or how anxious you are as a person. It has to do with what your brain requires to understand communication and what texting systematically refuses to give it. That's the system. And the system was broken before you opened the message. Celia Klin is a linguist at Binghamton University who has spent years studying how people interpret written language. Her finding is the foundation of everything that happens when you spiral over a text. Texters cannot rely on tone of voice or facial expressions. That sounds obvious until you understand what it costs. Because tone and expression aren't decorative. They aren't additions to communication. They are the communication. Every real conversation carries layers of data your nervous system reads without you noticing. Timing, hesitation, the way a sentence rises or drops. The half-second pause that tells you someone is thinking and not pulling away. Strip all of that away and what arrives isn't a message, it's a skeleton. Words without body, syntax without signal. Your brain doesn't accept skeletons. It fills them in, automatically, using whatever emotional data it already has. Past relationships, past moments where a short reply meant something was wrong, past rejections that started exactly like this. The gap doesn't stay empty. It loads the most urgent available interpretation because that's what threat detection does with missing data. Incomplete information doesn't register as neutral. It registers as risk. What you think is happening, you're trying to figure out what they meant, what is actually happening. Your brain is running a threat assessment on insufficient data and returning its most emotionally charged prediction as fact, before you've had a single conscious thought about it. You send a text, 10 minutes pass, you check, nothing. You look at the timestamp, you put the phone down, you pick it up again 2 minutes later. Nothing changed except your body. Your attention has narrowed, your chest is slightly tighter. You are no longer present in the room you're sitting in. You are inside a loop, and that loop started the moment the reply didn't arrive when your nervous system expected it. That physical shift, the tightening, the narrowing, the pull back to the screen, isn't emotional weakness. It's your threat detection system doing its job in a context where it has no accurate information to work with and no way to get it. This is the conflict Klin's research makes visible. On one side, a nervous system built to resolve uncertainty fast, using pattern recognition and past experience. On the other, a communication medium that structurally guarantees uncertainty, that removes every cue the nervous system needs, delivers the message anyway, and leaves the brain with nothing but words to work from. These two systems are not compatible, and you are caught between them every time you open your phone. Klin went further. She found that something as small as a single period at the end of a short reply changes how sincere the sender appears. One punctuation mark, not a word, a mark, shifts the entire emotional reading of the message, which means every element of a text is carrying signal simultaneously. Word choice, message length, response time, capitalization, punctuation, all of it interpretable, all of it ambiguous, all of it feeding the same prediction engine at once in a brain that was built to read faces and is being handed fonts instead. What this feels like is you're trying to read between the lines. What your brain is actually doing is manufacturing meaning from formatting, because the actual emotional content was never delivered. A 2015 study published in PubMed found that only 26% accuracy exists between people's perceived and actual texting behavior. And 81% of participants overestimated how frequently they texted. People cannot accurately read their own behavior in a medium they use every day. The story you're constructing about what their response time reveals about how they feel? That story is being built on a foundation that was distorted before you even started analyzing it. Now, return to what Klin confirmed, that all elements of a text can change its meaning, every element, which means the medium you're using to maintain your closest relationships is one where every component of every message is simultaneously a potential source of misreading. Not occasionally, not in edge cases, every time, by design. Unlike spoken words, which disappear the moment they leave someone's mouth, a text stays. You can return to it 15 times. Each reading is technically identical. Each reading feels different because you are different each time you open it. More anxious, more primed, more certain the interpretation you've just landed on is finally the correct one. A 2024 study published by Springer, conducted across 389 participants, confirmed the mechanism directly. High intolerance of uncertainty links strongly to both rumination and excessive smartphone use. The phone isn't where the anxiety originates. It's where the anxiety lives. Because the unresolved thing exists there, and the brain returns to unresolved things the way a tongue returns to a sore tooth. Not because you decide to, because the loop is still open. This is where it stops being about one message. One ambiguous text produces one cycle. The cycle ends when they reply or when you force yourself to stop. But neither of those is resolution. One is interruption, the other is suppression. The underlying pattern, your nervous system's trained response to interpretive gaps, stays fully intact. So, the next ambiguous message triggers the same cycle, slightly faster, because the pattern is now more practiced, and the next, and the one after that. You are no longer reacting to individual texts. You are reacting to an accumulated history of unresolved uncertainty, each instance adding weight to the next, your nervous system growing more sensitized with every loop it completes. The anxiety is not about this message. Your brain is running a cumulative calculation built from every message like this one. And here is where Klin's finding about a single period, that one punctuation mark that changes how sincere someone seems, stops being about punctuation. Because a nervous system trained to extract threat from a period will start extracting it from everything. From a pause in a real conversation, from a shift in someone's energy across the table, or from the way they said something versus how they usually say it. The scanning doesn't stay inside your phone, it migrates. The relationship you're navigating is partly real and partly a projection, assembled by a brain that was never given the cues it needed and quietly learned to manufacture them instead. You stop responding to the person. You start responding to the pattern your brain built around them. That's not sensitivity, that's conditioning. And it compounds with every unanswered message. The loop doesn't stop because you want it to. Awareness of a spiral and interruption of a spiral are two completely different things. You can watch yourself reread the message for the fourth time and still reread it a fifth. What actually interrupts it is changing your response before the loop completes. The moment you feel the pull to go back, to check again, to reread, to reanalyze, that pull is the data, not evidence that something in the message needs more examination. Evidence that your nervous system has registered uncertainty and is requesting resolution it cannot get from a screen. What it needs is a closed loop. And the only way to close it is to accept what Klin's research already proved. All elements of a text can change its meaning, which also means no amount of rereading changes what it actually means. The answer was never in the message. Every time you go back looking for it, you are not getting closer to clarity. You are deepening the pattern, training your nervous system to return, to scan, to treat uncertainty as a problem that persistence can solve. It can't. And the cost of believing it can isn't just peace of mind. It's the slow migration of a texting habit into a relational identity, Someone who reads people the way they read messages, hunting for threat in punctuation, building conclusions from silence, never quite trusting what's in front of them because the medium that raised them taught them that everything needs a second reading. That's not overthinking. That's a system running exactly as it was trained, one unanswered message at a time.